Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Carol Redwine, retired English professor at Grand Rapids Community College, and I am also most pleased to welcome you to the investiture ceremony for Dr. Stephen C. Ender, 9th President of Grand Rapids Community College. I invite all of you now to stand and greet our academic procession while you enjoy the Grand Rapids Community College Wind Ensemble, directed by Associate Professor Michael Gillen. Please remain standing until after our invocation and the national anthem. Now entering our Student Congress leaders carrying the American, Michigan, and Grand Rapids Community College flags. International students carrying the flags of their countries. Leading the academic community is Provost Hilda Healy, carrying the Grand Rapids Community College mace. An explanation of the mace can be found on page 9 of your program. GRCC past president and delegates of area colleges and universities. Grand Rapids Community College faculty members and staff. Faculty members are proceeding by school and departments, each led by their deans and associate deans. An explanation of their academic regalia can be found on page 10 of your program. members of our Board of Trustees, dais, guests, and speakers. And now entering the 9th President of Grand Rapids Community College, Dr. Stephen C. Ender. Thank you. The Reverend Dr. Melvin A. Jenkins, founder and senior pastor at Victory Christian Assembly in Indiana, Pennsylvania, will give our invocation. Following the invocation, Ms. Melissa Gleason, a sophomore at Grand Rapids Community College, majoring in music performance, will sing our national anthem.
Let us bow our heads. Our Father, at this time we are reminded by the words of the Apostle Paul, who said, "Be transformed by the renewal of your mind." And we ask at this special occasion your presence and your blessing upon it, that we would have an opportunity to have our minds renewed, that we might witness a great and powerful transformation in this place. We pray upon every part, we pray for every part of this service, every part of this program, every part of this investiture, that your blessings would be upon us for wisdom and direction and guidance. We thank you for this great opportunity to once again empower and equip your people for service. These and all the blessings we ask in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. Thank you, Dr. Jenkins. And thank you, Ms. Gleason, for that wonderful rendition. President and Mrs. Ender, members of your families, trustees, my faculty colleagues, college staff, students, honored alumni, elected officials, guests from the community, and friends of the college, welcome, and thank you for your attendance here today. I feel honored to have been asked to serve as your Mistress of Ceremonies. President Ender, we trust that this day will be as memorable for you as it will be for all of us. As our college approaches its 100th birthday, we are proud of our history. We view our present as transformative, and we anticipate our future. We are the 4th oldest two-year public college in the entire country, and how we have grown. We now serve almost 17,000 credit students, retrain thousands of workers, and employ over 1,700 fine men and women across 2 counties and dozens of buildings. These men and women, all of us here today, have not welcomed a new president for 10 years. During that decade, our college, our city, and our county, our country, indeed the entire world, have undergone great changes. Some of the changes, like our cities' and colleges' growth, have been sources of optimism. Some, like the attacks of September 11th, 2001, have been tragic. And some, like the internet, have been both. But all are challenging. We are here today for the investiture of a new president, one who will lead us to meet those challenges. The word investiture is an unusual one. It dates, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, to the year 1651, when it was said that the soul underwent a new investiture with the same upper garment clarified. By the Middle Ages, investiture became the action or ceremony of clothing in the insignia of an office, the ceremonial, official, or formal investing of a person with an office. It is with that depth of meaning that we today invest in Dr. Ender and clothe him with the Presidential Medallion of Grand Rapids Community College. It is now my privilege to introduce to you a close friend of Dr. Ender. Before being appointed our president, Dr. Ender served as president of Westmoreland County Community College, east of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. During his successful tenure there, he became acquainted with and eventually a friend to Eugene "Dick" Dickert, who mentored him through vital strategic planning for his college. Mr. Dickert's story is remarkable. In 1989, he served as a vice president of a troubled business, Elliott Turbo Machinery Company, the maker of military defense systems with $200 million in annual sales and 1,500 employees. To save the company, he mortgaged his own property, bought majority control with other officers of the company, and rebuilt the business. Mr. Dickert is held in high esteem in Westmoreland County. He is the past executive director of the Western Pennsylvania Community College Resource Consortium, served on the boards of the Westmoreland County Community College Foundation, the United Way, and has facilitated for and advised numerous nonprofit organizations. In 2007, he received the Westmoreland County Juvenile Court Judges Commission Meritorious Service Award. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm West Michigan welcome to Mr. Eugene "Dick" Dickert.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It was a great pleasure and honor for me to be here today to share a little bit about my friend, Steve Ender. With the theme of transformation, seeing ourselves differently here, you could not have chosen a better individual to lead, coach, and mentor you in this exciting journey. Jump aboard, because you're in for a rewarding experience of making a difference here at Grand Rapids Community College. Steve is motivated by a driving desire to provide student success. And he knows that you, the faculty and staff, are key to delivering that success. I first met Steve in the spring of 2005 as part of the search committee for a new president of Westmoreland County Community College. We were looking for an individual who could take us to a new level of excellence. Our longtime retiring president had done a great job of building a foundation, facilities, staff, faculty, and financial stability. But we felt that the existing talent had been underutilized in creating and implementing a vision for the future. Let me tell you, Dr. Ender delivered. He led the team to revitalize the Westmoreland County Community College mission and vision and helped them develop the action plan to make it a reality. Steve was an immediate favorite on and around the campus. His door was always open, and he listened. Not only did he listen, but he encouraged individuals to take ownership of their area of responsibility and to make a difference in improving student success. I have to tell you that the people at Westmoreland County College were a little bit concerned about this new concept of empowerment when Steve came on board. But it didn't take them long to recognize that Dr. Ender would go that extra mile to support their efforts to move the college ahead in student success. Within 6 months of his arrival, Dr. Ender initiated a strategic planning process that involved every stakeholder in the college: students, faculty, staff, community leaders, trustees, and foundation board members. Steve emphasized that this process valued the contributions of all and would emphasize a team concept moving forward. It didn't take long for excitement to build and for the planning team to realize that they would all have a role in moving WCCC from good to great. Steve's enthusiasm, vision, and commitment to the students, employees, and communities was a great boost in morale. Also, the realization that this planning process was not an exercise, but would transform into a way of life, put new meaning into building a good plan and executing it well. Today at WCCC, every activity, every individual's goals, every budget dollar is tied to that strategic plan. And we're seeing many, many signs of success. Enrollment going from 6,300 to approximately 7,100. Retention rate, student success, significantly improving from those plans. Not to mention the community grants and dollars coming into WCC to make these programs successful. I personally have served for many years on our foundation and board, and must admit that we were a relatively passive group for many years. Not very aggressive in either friend-raising or fundraising. Once Steve came on board, thanks to his leadership and commitment, we became a proactive group, which also enabled us to attract new talent to our board. Karen Ender was one example of joining our board. But most importantly, we moved our annual dollar giving in the small college there from $25,000 a year to well over $500,000 a year. And that does not include the significant foundation and federal grants that Dr. Ender helped obtain for new equipment, facilities, and programs like Achieving the Dream. Student success, remember? In closing, I'd like to share with you the heartfelt feelings of our foundation board by reading the inscription of the plaque presented to Steve. For his passion, persistence, and performance as president of WCCC, a leader who inspired others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more. Grand Rapids Community College is to be congratulated for selecting a president who will truly lead with integrity and inspire you to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more. Thank you. Congratulations, Steve.
Thank you for your insights, Mr. Dickert, and we hope that you enjoy your time in our city. As our college has grown, so has our faculty in both numbers and accomplishments. This autumn, we have 269 full-time faculty members and almost 600 adjunct faculty members. Some hail from around the world, while others are homegrown. One member of our faculty who has seen over 30 years of transformation at our college is the head of our biological sciences department. He earned his PhD from Michigan State University, founded and directed the GRCC Science Education Center, served as president of the Michigan Science Teachers Association Board of Directors, and has received numerous grants, awards, and recognitions. He is Dr. Robert Long.
Good afternoon. Welcome, Dr. and Mrs. Enders, Board of Trustees, students, guests, and colleagues. This is my third investiture of a new president, and hopefully the last. There are many challenges ahead of us, and I think we're going to need a president who's with us for some time to see us through to meet those challenges. It isn't unreasonable to think that the president will be here for a long time, as that is our history, as it is the history for many of us. Many, like myself, have been here for 30 plus years, and some of you more than 40 years. It's very easy to see the transformational role that the college plays in our lives when you look at it over this long period of time. For instance, most of us, or many of us, have lived our whole adult lives on an academic calendar. The beginning of the school year begins with excitement. The semester begins. We work our way through the semester. We have exams. We have term papers, final exams. The semester ends abruptly. We have traditional holidays. We have cycles of contract negotiation. And we have periodic changes of administrators and faculty and friends here at the college. Also, on another level, there's a very deep and a culture of commitment to service for and stewardship of this college. If you've been here long enough, you are who you are in large part because of this college. Also, this longevity perspective allows you to see how individuals have played a role in policy and actions of this college. This college certainly would go on without any one of us, but it would go on differently. This college is what it is because we are unique individuals and we make unique contributions. I think all of us would agree that no one makes more substantial contributions to this college than the president. And correspondingly, probably no one is affected by the college more than the president is. I tend to think of the presidency as not a job, but more of an obsession. This is why we should take just a moment to thank Mrs. Ender in advance for her patience and generosity in sharing her husband with us. Thank you. We are here to honor and respect the commitment and responsibility that is assumed by the president. Now, considering the close relationship between our lives here and the president's role, it would seem to be a little self-serving to simply wish him the very best of success. So on behalf of the many members of the college, I would like to wish our incoming president, our new president, not just professional success, but a very heartfelt wish and hope for good growth and development, personal growth and development, for good health. Maybe wealth might be a little bit much to hope for, but certainly happiness. Steve Ender, good luck and welcome to the college family. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Long, for those words of encouragement to all of us, as well as to Dr. Ender. Colleges are known to the extent that their students are known. One of our students has lately gained considerable recognition in the community, and with it, recognition for our college. He is a student of music, but on a larger scale, he is a master of organization, having brought Grand Rapids pillow fights, mass numbers of zombies, and sidewalk chalkworks. Most recently, as part of the Art Prize contest, he filled downtown with thousands of paper airplanes and the most crowded streets we've seen since John F. Kennedy campaigned for president. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Robert Bliss.
Thank you. Before I start today, I just want to give thanks. There are many people here today that without their help, I would have never been here. Bland Rapids, who here has heard this phrase? Because when I was a kid, I never heard this until I started working with people in their 30s that worked in this city, and I heard them using that phrase, and it was foreign to me. I grew up in a high school, and the biggest thing that I would always hear about was students that were frustrated and desperate to escape this area in this city. One of the biggest problems is a feeling that we are 5 years behind at all times, that we have the issue of being behind a Boston or the East Coast. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why we have difficulty with the area that we live in, and it's very frustrating. A lot of times you feel almost trapped in the Midwest area. One of the most common conversation points here is the idea that it is difficult to keep our students here. I've heard a lot of problems about this city. I feel like in the past year or so that I've become more in tune with this city. And I feel like one of the biggest problems is that a lot of people like to live in the small towns of this area, that we may have this very large city and we're surrounded by hundreds of thousands of people and all these steel buildings, and we really realize just how small we are. In the surrounding small towns, we have names, we feel belonging and feel purpose. But so many other cities don't seem to have these issues of identity, and it seems like our town sometimes has this issue. And I think there's two big things that a lot of times have held us back. In the past, you know, we're all very familiar with how Grand Rapids came to be with the furniture city and the lumber mills, and how great that prosperity brought to Grand Rapids. And I think it's the pride and culture that for such time we had lacked. There was a time when we were the 75th largest city in the United States. Since then, we're at 114th, while the greater metropolitan area of Grand Rapids is almost doubled since the 1980s. How can this be? This doesn't make sense. I think what we have yet to achieve that we are still working towards is there seems to be at times a lack of pride in our city. We are a big city that seems to be stuck in the mindset of a small town. But I feel that things are changing. I feel that there is a new breeze sweeping, and I've had the opportunity to meet with President Ender, and I can proudly say that he represents this change that we are looking forward to moving in the right direction. Before I came to GRCC, I didn't even know if I wanted to go to college. I almost didn't even make it out of high school. I felt directionless, apathetic, and most likely futureless. But a lot of the professors that I was able to meet here at GRCC gave me great motivation to push myself, push push my dreams and re-envision my city and feel a part of this city. And I feel like GRCC has been extremely instrumental. But I feel that there's other waves of change here. I feel that there's a new breeze sweeping in. You know, when I see hundreds of people all along South Division selling and creating art and just beautifying the South Division area, or maybe when 5,000 people can come downtown and beautify the entire city with sidewalk chalk. No big corporate logos everywhere. It's just a purely community thing, that this is something that the city wants. And I can feel a strong gust when I see our city, Grand Rapids, become the worldwide leader in the arts. And I feel a great amount of pride and culture seems to be returning to Grand Rapids that maybe it didn't have at one point. And I feel like we are standing now, GRCC as a model for the city, and all of its inhabitants are at a turning point in our city's history where we can shrink from our duty or take the leadership in our new identity in West Michigan by changing the course of this river that has run for too long. Who here knows that May 1st will be the 160th anniversary of Grand Rapids, and why don't we all know that? That we have 12 colleges in this area, that there's a movement in this area to bring back the Rapids to Grand Rapids, that amidst this recession, we're still having great amount of economic development downtown. I never heard of Bland Rapids because this generation and my generation will not grow up in Bland Rapids, because I was born and raised a Grand Rapidian, and we are not one in this million, but we are a part of this million. And now the final question is, what are we going to do to make Grand Rapids grand? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bliss, and best of luck with your next event. Western Michigan has indeed grown over the last decade despite the recent economic downturn. At the heart of our growth has been economic development in Grand Rapids that has included the medical mile and a city government gone green. Less than 3 years ago, the United Nations recognized Grand Rapids as a center of expertise in sustainability. These changes have occurred in no small part because of the support and action of our elected officials. One of those is a longtime friend of the college and no newcomer to this presidential occasion, having given the invocation and benediction 10 years ago at President Olivares' ceremony. He has served our community in many ways, including a long tenure on the Grand Rapids City Commission and as minister to the homeless at Heartside Ministry. He is currently president and CEO of Pilgrim Manor Retirement Community and is in his second term as mayor of Grand Rapids. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Mayor George Hartwell.
There is a word not spoken often enough today. The word is hope. It's fashionable to lament. If only Washington would, if only Lansing could, oh me, oh my, how bad things are, and getting worse by the moment. I'm guilty. I suspect that many of you are as well. Guilty of looking at this amazing world of ours and seeing not opportunity but impediment, not blessing but curse. Guilty of a failure of hope. Hope is a transformative state of mind. When we hope for something better, fuller, more satisfying than our present reality, we are more likely to commit to work for that something. Hope goes beyond optimism. Hope represents a longing that compels us to act. This is an investiture, installing into office Dr. Steve Ender. It is a beginning, a fresh start, the passing of the mantle of leadership. So for this moment, let me call you to a celebration of hope. Václav Havel, the former president of the Czech Republic, wrote, "Hope in a deep and powerful sense is not the same as joy that things are going well, or willingness to invest in enterprises that are obviously headed for early success, but rather an ability to work for something because it is good, not just because it stands a chance to succeed. So, because the evidence that the world is deeply distressed is so abundant and obvious, we must bring hope to this investiture. Nothing but hope and the actions born of hope can transform this difficult time into a bright future. And so today I tell you, I am hopeful. Hopeful that, confounding as the riddles of our time may be, a student entering Grand Rapids Community College today will find a solution. Hopeful that the collective and collaborative power of higher education, business, and government, propelled by a wave of citizen engagement, will restore prosperity to our community. Hopeful that a faculty member from this institution will crack through the hard shell of racial intolerance of one student who will then go on to lead a new civil rights movement. Hopeful, ever hopeful, that the ranks of students attending GRCC today include a future scientist who will crack the code and find the cure for AIDS. A musician whose songs will be on the lips of millions, a poet whose words will inspire the world to peace, a nurse, an accountant, a teacher whose lives will make a difference. And I am hopeful that the man invested with authority to lead this institution this day will be a catalyst for creativity, effort, and cooperation to transform this community college to a state of excellence yet unrealized. Dr. Ender, Mr. President, on behalf of the people of Grand Rapids, welcome and God's blessing. You are an agent of hope when hope is most needed. I look forward to strengthening the already strong relationship between the city of Grand Rapids and its community college. And I look forward to building on a friendship that has already begun. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Hartwell, for those powerful words and for your leadership in West Michigan over the years. Grand Rapids Community College has long supported West Michigan employers and employees, having trained and retrained thousands of workers. One of those employers has made a second vocation of service to our college. An Ottawa Hills High School graduate, Mr. Custer attended Grand Rapids Junior College and joined the management of Steelcase Incorporated, the world's largest office furniture manufacturer. In 1981, he purchased and let out of bankruptcy a Steelcase dealership, increasing sales from $3 million to $43 million in the process. That business is now Custer Workplace Interiors, one of the most comprehensive workplace furniture dealers in West Michigan. Mr. Custer has given back to Grand Rapids Community College in exceptional ways through 20 years of service to our foundation. He co-chaired the Open Door campaign, which raised $11.6 million, the most successful campaign in the history of the college and foundation. Last year, he became the foundation board chairman, the first non-GRCC president to serve as chair. Today, he will share with us what he has learned about President Ender and why he believes President Ender will change GRCC for the better. Please join me in welcoming Mr. David Custer.
Thank you. This is rough duty following a Rob Bliss and then a politician who's also a preacher. I said coming in, I said, George, are we going up here or over there? And he said, we're going up in the pulpit. And I said, I don't know if I've ever been in a pulpit before. But he's used to it, and so. I'm honored and feel privileged to be part of this today. When Steve called and asked me to be involved in this, I readily accepted and said, sure, I'll do it, and hung up the phone. And then I thought, oh no, I'm going to have to wear one of those funny hats. I don't have one on because I was starting to put it on, and George didn't have his on. And I said, George, where's your hat? And he said, I look stupid in hats. And I said, you know, I do too. I'm not wearing one. I figured if the mayor doesn't have to wear one, I don't have to wear one. So, well, again, I feel privileged to be part of this today. I've come to know Steve as both a colleague and have become friends with both he and Karen. And I like a lot of what I see. It's been almost 6 months now, and here's some of the things that I like. First of all, he has a good sense of humor. I remember the first time I met him, it was at a public forum. I think it was the first public forum to introduce the candidates to the community, to the faculty, staff, and to the students. So we're sitting in an auditorium, and someone, I forget who, tells us that Steve is just finishing up an interview with the board and will be there shortly. A few minutes later, he comes walking out, and he's on crutches, and he's got a big cast on his leg, and his first comment is, man, that board's tough. I like that. I like his giving spirit. In his short time here already, he's been giving back some of his salary to students that are in need. I think that's a good thing, and I like that. I like the fact that he and Karen already really enjoy West Michigan, and they're going to be here for a while to see his vision through, and I like that. I like his business approach to things. These are difficult times for everybody, for businesses, for healthcare, and for education as well. All segments have had to make tough decisions, ones that are not always popular. Some are not well received. It's easy to avoid them and hope that life will go on as normal, but it's not going to. So I like the fact that Steve is not afraid to face these tough decisions and address them head on. Steve is not afraid to go out and raise money, and he aims high. As president of the Community College Foundation, I like that a lot. I especially like that he has a willing partner in Karen in getting involved in the community. That's going to be a good thing for all of us. And best of all, I like the fact that Steve is committed to serving everyone that wants to attend this college. Last year and previous years, we've had to turn away over 1,000 students each year. That just can't happen. We're here to serve everyone that wants to come. Our doors have to be open, and Steve is committed to making that happen. I've been with Steve and meeting many of the leaders of the community, and he has been very well received, and I like that. And so it is for all these reasons that I think Steve is the perfect choice to lead this great institution into the next decade. The college needs his unique skills and strengths and abilities. And I look forward to working with him in the years to come. And I also like the fact that he likes a good cigar. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Custer, for your fine comments and for your dedication to our college. This past summer, the Board of Trustees elected a new chairperson, and she will now present the charge of office and confer the Presidential Medallion upon Dr. Ender. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the chairperson of the Grand Rapids Community College Board of Trustees, Ms. Olivia Margot Anderson.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am pleased that you could come and join us today for this historic occasion. The values of Grand Rapids Community College have been kept in the forefront of every staff and faculty member by each former president, from our founder in 1914, Jesse Buttrick Davis, to Dr. Juan Oliveras. All of them became leaders in West Michigan and pace setters in community college education, putting a unique stamp on this institution and transforming us in the process. President Ender, unlike your 8 predecessors, you did not work for Grand Rapids Community College before we, the Board of Trustees, hired you. You bring a refreshing new perspective that has already begun. In the few months that you have been here, you have established yourself as a good listener, a forthright speaker, and a decisive leader. You have quickly involved yourself in getting to know our community and being available for them to get to know you. You are dedicated to student success and have a vision for sustaining our mission in these troubling economic times. The Board of Trustees have selected you, Dr. Stephen Ender, as president of Grand Rapids Community College. It is a privilege to have you as our leader. You have the opportunity to transform our college. It is our hope and prayer that you rise to the responsibility, and we pledge that we will help you to the full extent of our abilities. The flames located on the presidential seal represent the highest and purest purpose of education in replacing the darkness of ignorance and fear with a vision of truth, learning, understanding, and beauty. You are now the keeper of those flames, and we trust that you will keep them burning brightly. Please rise. Dr. Stephen Ender, we now, with the authority of the Board of Trustees, place over your head the Great Seal of Grand Rapids Community College, a symbol of the high office which you now hold.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium the 9th president of Grand Rapids Community College, Dr. Stephen C. Ender.
I was glad I didn't have to follow the mayor also. Good afternoon. What an exciting and wonderful day for our college. Today we gather to celebrate my investiture and to continue our transformation to position our institution for the challenges of this 21st century. Allow me to begin my comments by thanking the Investiture Committee, led by Provost Healy. They have worked for months to implement an exciting week of events leading to today's ceremony. I would ask that this outstanding team stand so that we may recognize all of them. Please, where are they in this auditorium? Throughout this week, we have held meaningful conversations with our students, faculty, staff, and community partners, exploring our important educational role in this region. Monday, on the Lake Shore, our conversation focused on Ottawa County's post-secondary educational needs. We explored GRCC's expanding role in this region as the Lake Shore builds their intellectual and technical talents to respond to the needs of the 21st century. On Tuesday, we engaged in significant dialogue with business, education, health, and workforce development leaders, exploring the many roles that GRCC serves for all sectors of our community. This conversation was in response to Mr. Bill Strickland's challenge to us to not leave any sector of our society out of the experience and rewards of post-secondary education. And on Tuesday and Wednesday, we witnessed firsthand the transformational effect of our college on our students as they showcased their work through the mediums of an academic paper, video documentary, or artistic presentation. We also met yesterday as a college family to discuss the transformational effect we have as an institution. I am sure those of you that participated in Tuesday and Wednesday's activities with our students can attest to the powerful impact our institution has had on their lives. Truly a transformational effect in every sense of the word. In short, during this week, we have affirmed that GRCC works. As we celebrate my selection in the investiture as the 9th president of Grand Rapids Community College, I must say from the bottom of my heart that I am honored and humbled to have been selected to serve. And I consider this opportunity the capstone of my 35-year career. I follow and now stand on the shoulders of 8 other presidents who have provided their leadership, sweat, and I'm sure tears to develop and evolve our college to the prominence that we experience today. One of those great leaders, Dr. Juan Oliveras, is with us. Juan, please stand so that we can recognize you and your many contributions to our college. Individuals arrive to the presidency through many different paths as they hone their skills and competencies to serve effectively. As I have traveled my path, there have been significant people whose mentorship, love, support, patience, and encouragement have contributed to who I am today. Some of those folks are with us. On the dais, you've met Mr. Dick Dickert and Dr. Melvin Jenkins. Dick has been a trusted mentor and friend for several years, and he was instrumental in assisting me in my thinking during the Westmoreland presidency. Dr. Mel Jenkins has been a friend and colleague for over 25 years as we work to develop significant educational programming for inner-city youth in the major urban areas of Pennsylvania. Both Dick and Mel are part of who I am, what I believe, and how I act. I am grateful to both of them. Their presence today is quite meaningful to me. I could not have walked my path without my family. Please grant me a moment to introduce them. First, my wife, Karen. Karen, would you stand? Karen's unfailing love has always been at my side and has been a source of strength for me. For the past 18 years, she has been my friend, soulmate, confidant, and wife. We have experienced together the trials and tribulations of educational leadership, the pride of success, and the disappointment of not quite clearing the bar. Through it all, she has been by my side as a partner. Our college will have one of its strongest advocates through her presence in our community. My children, Joanna and Mason. Joanna, where are you? And Mason. Along with their spouses, Brian and Beth. Now I've got to do this. Beth, please. And Brian. I experience their love and respect every day as both a father and a man. They have become self-sufficient adults, and I am very proud of both of them and of Brian and Beth, who they have chosen as their life partners. Karen's sister Judy and her husband Jack Endicott have traveled from Philadelphia to join us today. The strength they provide to both of us, knowing they will be there if needed, is an emotional foundation that I wish all people could experience in their lives. Though not related through blood, I must point out Dr. David and Wendy Wones. Karen and Wendy have been best friends since they were 5 years old. David and Wendy have lived in Grand Rapids for over 20 years, and their support for us has been the very foundation of our strength as we made the decision to seek this presidency. David and Linda Sard are here from Greensburg, PA. They are both wonderful and very special friends, and Karen and I are grateful for their ongoing friendship. Ed Fry, a retired music faculty member at Indiana University of Pennsylvania and longtime coach of that institution's cross-country and track teams, traveled from Indiana to celebrate this day with us. Ed taught me both the agony and the thrill of competitive running. His greatest gift to me were these words of wisdom before I ran my first marathon: stay within yourself and don't get scared. I have found those words even more profound serving in the role of a college president. My twin brother Ken and his wife Kathy are with us today to share and celebrate our new life at GRCC. Twins have a unique relationship, and ours is truly special. We share the same values and worldview. We are both community college presidents. We deeply care about our work and the impact of higher education as a life-transforming event. We discuss challenges and solutions. We trust and we confide. I'm grateful to have Ken as my brother and constantly experience his unconditional love. The day is complete by his and Kathy's attendance. My mother's health prevented her from being here, but I feel her love. My dad and Karen's parents have passed away, but we know they are both beaming down from heaven. We are part of them, and through us, they are here. Their combined strength is a source of strength and determination for both of us. Their expectations were high, and they were grounded in love, and we are grateful for all of their teachings. In many ways, my life exemplifies transformation and the power of post-secondary education. As a first-generation college student, I bear witness to the impact of where education can lead and the importance of significant others throughout one's growth process. And now let's turn to Grand Rapids Community College. Our college's past and present contributions to our community are significant, and we will continue our great work throughout this 21st century and beyond. However, to do so with the same quality and effectiveness that describes our past, I believe we must begin to think of our institution differently and begin transformational processes to sustain our future. I know we can do this. You see, I believe as a community college family, we have the capabilities, willingness, and commitment to transform our institution, similarly as we have and will transform thousands of our students. I believe we are ready to establish outcomes which in many ways may transform our present realities. I believe we will take the risks inherent when one explores and identifies new paths that drive the transformational process. And I know we have the capacity to stretch our capabilities so that our transformation will result in a sustainable institution in this 21st century. Why do I believe as I do? Because as a community college comprised of board members, faculty, staff, administrators, and students, I know we are committed to the success of our students and to the welfare and sustainability of all of us. as employees of this great institution. To others, I would describe our college and college community as challenging for our students, but compassionate in our support for their success. Questioning in our internal differences, but open to and respectful of many different perspectives on an array of issues. And I know we are hopeful for tomorrow, but we are also grounded in the reality of today. We have answered the challenges of yesterday, and we will anticipate and rise to those that now face us. The realities we observe and experience today are largely the result of a large population loss and job base, which is now affecting every corner of our state. And similar to our business colleagues who are now retooling their plants and gearing up for new industries that will drive Michigan in this 21st century, we will also examine our structure and processes of providing quality education committed to our students' success. We will plan and implement a new future for our college based on the reality of today and the anticipation of tomorrow. As a community, we will make decisions and develop our community college for the future. We will not wait for Armageddon and then react. We have the wisdom to see the future, and we have the capacity to change. And the future is clear. We are in a growth industry with a financial resource base that is declining. And I believe our enrollment growth will continue as more and more students seek out our high-quality, reasonable cost curriculum, and leaders in business and industry look to us as their training partner for the 21st century jobs. We must respond to this growth through a cost structure that will neither drive our students out of our educational market, away from opportunity and transformation to a new and better life, nor result in hardworking, loyal, and productive employees fearing the loss of meaningful and family-sustaining employment. We will never forget, and we will always be driven by our knowledge that our community college offers that ray of hope for thousands in our community that have lost or are losing hope. We will not let them down. We will reach out and serve. This is our calling, our mission, and purpose. We are in the business of creating life-transforming opportunities for individuals, their families, their neighborhoods, their county, and the region in which they live. We will respond successfully to being a growth industry with declining revenues. I know we have the intellectual capital and personal energy to discover the answers that are right for us, and as a team to implement those solutions. And this involves all of us, not just the Board of Trustees, the Foundation Board, the President, administrators, faculty, and staff, but all of us. Transparency and personal empowerment must be the underpinning of our work as we walk the path of transformation. There are no secrets in the castle, and there is nothing to hide. In fact, we have much to be proud of and to celebrate. Through a faculty and staff that are distinguished by the quality of their work and the productivity of their efforts, we have transformed hundreds of thousands, and we have contributed substantially to this county and region. Our approach in the past has been adequate and reasonable for Michigan of yesterday. Now we will plan and chart our path for the Michigan of today and tomorrow. In many ways, this may be the most exciting and challenging time in our collective lives. We have the potential to chart a course that sustains our great institution so that our children and grandchildren can experience a quality-driven, student success-oriented post-secondary education, all at an affordable cost. This is our moment in time. We will make a lasting difference. Our contributions to this institution, our county, region, and state will be as dramatic and long-lasting as is the present economic climate that we find ourselves in. Nothing of value is easy, nor should it be. But our capacity as educators and people to chart new paths, take risks to travel those paths, and at the end of the day, transform our institution to sustain itself for the next 100 years is worth, in my opinion, our collective wisdom, energy, and commitment to our students' success and to ourselves as valued employees of this great community college. As I've said before, and I will say again, we are too good to fail. Thank you.
Congratulations to you, Dr. Ender, and we look forward to a rewarding relationship with you here at Grand Rapids Community College. For many years, our music faculty and performance ensembles have won instrumental and vocal awards. As they have enriched so many other venues, this afternoon they enrich our program. During the prelude, you enjoyed the music of the GRCC Trumpet Ensemble, directed by retired Professor Lynn Asper. To close our program, I am pleased to present the Grand Rapids Community College Wind Ensemble, directed by Associate Professor Gillen. Please rise and join retired Professor Dwayne Davis for the singing of our alma mater. The words can be found on page 5 of your program. Please be seated. Thank you, Professor Davis, Associate Professor Gillen, and members of the ensemble. At this time, we welcome back to the podium the Reverend Dr. Jenkins to deliver the benediction.
Again, I would ask that we bow our heads. Our Father, we face many challenges. We face many obstacles. We face many issues in the coming days. But we know that through you, these challenges are simply stepping stones toward greatness. We thank you for Dr. Ender, his leadership. We pray your blessings upon him, his family, his administration going forward. And even as we end these proceedings today, we ask that you would continue to guide and direct this great institution into leadership for tomorrow. We ask your blessings upon all that is said and done. We thank you for this time that we have spent. In your Son's name we do now pray, and we all say, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated for the recessional of our dais guests and those in academic regalia. The recessional, Fanfare and Allegro by Leroy Ostransky will be performed by the GRCC Trumpet Ensemble and directed by Professor Asper. Following the recessional, you are cordially invited to join Dr. and Mrs. Ender at a reception in his honor at the Wisner Bottrell Applied Technology Center. We are grateful that you joined us here this afternoon. Thank you so very much for your attendance.